Hi, ladies. Welcome, welcome. I see everybody's joining us. Welcome. So excited. So take a few moments for everyone to settle in. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. We are going to be beginning in a moment. I think this time around. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So excited to see you all here. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Okay, so it's Sheeta.
Hello there. How are you?
We started the song. We're just getting everyone started. Welcome. Hello. Welcome, welcome. So welcome everyone. Good to see you all. If you are here for the first time, welcome. I hope you have a beautiful evening, afternoon with us. If you don't know, this is our Women Thrive Summit playlist from 2023. And I will drop the link in the chat for any of you who may want to download it. So I see some beautiful faces joining us today as well. So please give a wave, say hello. I see you all in the chat as well, introducing yourself, put your cameras on. This is going to be so much fun. It's so good to see so many beautiful faces from all around the world. Today, we are joined by our Women Thrive Summit speakers of 2023, as well as 2022, perhaps speakers from our previous summits as well, attendees, our extended community, and some of our brand new confirmed speakers for 2024. So today we are here to celebrate and just really highlight the achievement of all the incredible women. My apologies, I'm just making sure all the tech is working properly. So today we are here to celebrate the achievement of all the incredible women and those who have contributed significantly for the Women Thrive Summit 2023. Have a little celebration. We didn't get to catch up after the summit ended in March, and I feel like it's been a while. I know our speakers have been so keen to come back, to reconnect, to celebrate, to see how have you all ladies been doing after the summit as well. So we're not just here to celebrate the speakers who have been contributing to the summit, but also you, the attendees, and our extended community members. And if you have not attended this year's summit, don't feel left out, because we are going to be doing a little bit of recap, a bit of highlights. We have some guest speakers who will be sharing some inspirational stories today. So I hope that today is really about women empowerment, a celebration of each other, coming together to network. So I do welcome you to introduce yourself in a chat. Let us know where in the world you are, who you are. You never know who you may connect here. We are going to also be inviting you to extend these connections that you make today in our free Women's Circle community, so you can connect with each other and maintain these relationships. And we hope you continue to join some of our events that we host. We'll be hosting these small events throughout the year, every month, so you get to meet our community members, our inspirational women, get to know each other, build these relationships, because the Women Thrive community and the Women in Business community, it is all about bringing women from all around the world, from all walks of life, together to celebrate, to empower, to share our stories, to create a safe space where we can truly be ourselves and shine. So through the Women Thrive Summit mission and purpose of what we do is to spotlight women, stories, voices from all around the world. And we have been doing this since 2020, since the pandemic, and we have had to, perhaps unfortunately, switch from our in-person event to virtual events. And it was probably the biggest blessing in disguise at that moment, which I didn't know, having to turn our live events into virtual events. And this has given us opportunity to do things a little bit differently. This has given us opportunity to bring women from all walks of life, from all around the world, to extend the invitation to women from as far as Asia, to Canada, to Hawaii, to Caribbean and United States and Europe and Australia. And had it not happened, perhaps we would never have made these beautiful connections. So this community is for all of you ladies, and we also have gents. We are non-discriminated in terms of gender, age, race, culture, background. We are very much inclusive community. And what you will find that throughout all of our events, we try to really have diverse representation of voices, experiences, ages, backgrounds, races. And I always say, and something I said during the summit this year, that there's so much more that unite us than divide us. Because having met hundreds, if not thousands of women from all around the world, have interviewed hundreds of speakers to speak on our summit, every time I speak to women from different parts of the world, I recognize just how many things that really unite us, how many stories and experiences we have had in our lives that are so similar. They're really not dissimilar to each other. So as you get to hear each other's stories, I think you may be able to relate to each other and relate to some of the struggles, challenges, life experiences, things you have had to overcome. And a lot of the times in the moments of our valleys, if you call it, the moments when we feel like this is the biggest struggle in my life. This is a moment in my life that I don't know how I'm going to get through. A lot of the times we feel alone. And when we feel alone, we feel like there's no one to call for help. But I hope that if you have attended or watched some of the past summits, that you recognize that some of your experiences, you're not alone. There are other women from all around the world that have or have had similar experiences, and they also felt alone. So through the power of our stage and the community like this, where we're able to share our stories and talk about some of our struggles and challenges, we help each other see that we're not alone. We help each other recognize that there are other women, there is support, there are other opportunities that we can also pursue. And we don't have to be alone. We don't have to be silent. And when we share our stories and the challenges, we enable and empower other people to speak up about the things that matter to them. So through the Women Thrive stage, we have been I'm incredibly grateful for the support and the contribution of our speakers who have helped us make this event what it is today, to so bravely share their stories and contribute their knowledge, their experience, as well as their stories with a mission to empower other women. And by doing so, I believe that we've made significant impact in this world. I know that through our platform, we have had many first-time speakers who have come through our platform and now become international speakers, podcast hosts, won awards, written books, and become empowered to share their stories. So that makes me really, really happy and excited. And also know that our mission, or one of our commitments that we have made to host 30% first-time speakers on our stage, has not gone to vain, that it has truly made an impact. And we don't just say that we are about women empowerment, we actually walk the walk. So you will find that theme throughout everything we do, through the meetings, through the communications, through the programs, events, how we conduct our business. It is all about women empowerment. And this is the expectation that we have about ourselves, from our community, from our team, and those who are involved. And having been in business for probably more than 6 years and have grown our community to more than 600,000 followers, it's a very, very rare occasion that we have ever had negative comments or rude comments or situations like that where people have been disrespectful. And I think that just comes through because of our values and how we treat each other with respect, kindness, compassion, inclusivity. And I'm proud to have a community like this where everyone is welcome, everyone is celebrated. It makes me emotional because this really means a lot to me, to know that women who have come and been part of our events and been on our stage feel safe to be here, safe to share their stories, their messages, and feel included in the community. So I'm grateful for all of you for being part of this celebration, the community, the speaker circle, the events that we host. And I am super grateful for my team who behind the scenes have been so helpful to bring all of this vision together, some of whom have been with us from beginning. This year we expanded our team. We've been training more team members to support our future events. And we have a newest team member who is not even born yet. So the little girl by the name of Selena, she will be born in August. That's my little baby girl. And she has been a trooper this year because I found out I was pregnant in December. And this little girl has really stuck with me throughout this whole summit and some of the most challenging parts when we had sleepless nights or marathon of interviews and the whole summit first aid. So I think she's a real trooper to survive this. And somebody suggested that perhaps we should be having a summit for children in the future, but who knows, that might be that might be something on the agenda for the years to come. And she's definitely going to be the cheerleader of that. So thank you so much. Beautiful to see so many faces, some familiar names, some ladies that may just been quite new to our community. Like I said, today you're going to meet some of our past Women Thrive Summit speakers of 2023. We have some special awards and nominations that we have made for their contribution for various reasons. And I want to welcome one of our first speakers from a wonderful summit of 2022. If I may ask you, if you are joining, to mute your microphone. If you do want to speak, feel free to raise your hand. If you want to put your camera on, you're more than welcome to do so. I want to just very briefly introduce our first speaker. Bear with me. So I'm just going to find my lovely speaker. Hello, Maya. How are you? Good to see you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. I see some familiar faces and it's wonderful. Good to
Well,
see you all.
welcome. Maya was a speaker, one of our VIP speakers last year at 2022 event. She has definitely made significant contribution. She's an expert in online learning and courses and programs. And she has really helped us to champion and question, how do people learn? How can we create content and syllabus within our summit and deliver it in a way that helps our audience really learn something? But today Maya is here to talk a little bit about speaking, about her journey, and to just share a bit about her story. So Maya, over to you.
Okay, well, I will try to be brief here because there's so many amazing people that we should all hear from. But first of all, congratulations to everyone who was speaking at this event. It was wonderful to be part of this last year. I was really honored to speak and to support the event through promotion, and I met some really lifelong relationships through this journey. I'm seeing a few of you ladies here who we have regular contact with. It really was a launch pad, I would say. Last year I was in a totally different place than I am right now. I've seen a ton of growth in my business as I've continued to learn from women, in business and in the online business space, and evolve what I'm doing in my own work and how I can have the biggest impact. So it has been a really significant part of my journey, and it's given just me, more opportunities to explore this world of public relations and of speaking as a guest on podcasts. I've had many podcast guest appearances over the last year and a half. Publications in magazines. Of course, Women Thrive is one wonderful magazine, but others. So it does open up doors, and it's been a great place to, just kind of find my voice and solidify my message and get clear on what it is I'm bringing to people. So absolutely wonderful to be part of this mix. I know everybody has their own unique story, and it feels like we're just getting started.
There we are. Maya, thank you so much for sharing that. You are definitely one of the highlights for me for 2022, and just seeing the community. And I always say that every year we have something unique about every summit, and I guess a little bit different in terms of speakers and the energy. What did you feel the 2020, how do you feel like that event stood out for you, either experience or what stood out for you about that particular year for you?
What stood out last year? I think it was just the quality of people that you were able to bring to the stage and attract, some really impressive women with very, very inspiring stories. It can be easy to feel almost a little bit overwhelmed with, like, is my story big enough to be here on this stage? And I think what we learned as part of this journey, and I see nodding heads, I think what I learned and what stood out for me is that your story is inspiring no matter what it is. Everybody has an interesting story. Everybody's dealing with things. And in our head, we think, it's okay, I've survived, I can handle it, it's no big deal. But it is a big deal. And so I was actually reflecting this morning. I was in the shower, believe it or not. This is where our best thinking happens. And I was thinking, I'd love to write a book. I know that's in my future. I was out for dinner with some women, and there was a book writer. She was a ghost writer, another woman who's written and published books, and another one, who's preparing to write a book. And I thought, I'd like to write a book. And I thought, but what would I say? Is my story even interesting? And I thought, no, it is interesting. You've already validated that. So, the goals keep getting bigger and bigger. And it just stood out as a place where everybody was extremely welcoming. Everybody was very encouraging with wanting to hear what I had to say and hear my journey. So I would just say really collaborative, really inspiring group, and very welcoming.
Thank you so much. And I hope that we'll have you back in the future events. It's nice to reconnect. life just gets so busy and we don't
Yeah,
find the time to reconnect. And
time
certainly
flies.
for me, this last 8 months has been nonstop. But thank you for answering the call to be here today, Manya, and just sharing your message. And please feel free to put your information in chat for women to connect with you. It's really nice to see you today. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. I have another wonderful speaker who has also been part of the same Women Thrive Summit, which 2022, Natasha. So Natasha also stood out in our speaker circle last year, and she has had some incredible and notable achievements in the last few months. The whole year, she is one power woman who travels the world speaking. She has recently been on a TEDx stage, and believe it or not, she's at her job right now and taking a mini break to be here to bring her inspirational message. And Natasha, congratulations on your TEDx talk. How exciting. Your TEDx talk hitting 10K views as well, may I say.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Similar to Maya, I hope I'm saying it right, our last speaker. It has been such a wonderful experience, not only speaking with you, being a part of your network, getting to know all the other wonderful women. I see Coyetta's on the call. Like, it has just been such a phenomenal experience. You know, once you start getting into this industry, right, and you're speaking at different conferences, you really see a difference in the heart, the drive, and the purpose behind them. So sometimes you go to a conference where you're essentially paying to speak to other speakers, right? That's just the reality of it. But when you come in here, you get so many genuine connections and amazing opportunities. So she does this speaker highlight, right? So last year I did the 5-minute introduction, and off of that call, I got booked $500 to speak for 15 minutes to this women's group. Just recently, I wrote an article for the magazine. Someone else reached out to me and asked me, would I be willing to speak at our upcoming summit in June? Your authenticity shows, and what you've been able to create offers so many opportunities to so many people. So it's been such an amazing experience.
Natasha, thank you. Appreciate it. I didn't even know these things.
I know we're all so busy, right? And I see you're always doing 1,000,001 things like me. So I never reached out to tell you. But honestly, when I first started this journey, first of all, let me just say congratulations to all the phenomenal men and women, all the speakers on this call. This is a life-changing event. It opens so many doors, like I said, but also you learn a lot about yourself, not just speaking here, but speaking anywhere. You gain this confidence that you can connect with other people. You don't have to connect with everybody, but your story is going to be the gateway or the key for somebody else to step into the next level of their lives. And so for me, I didn't start out wanting to speak. I've owned a hair salon for 11 years. It just, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but it randomly fell into my lap. I thought I was going to be listening at a conference and I was asked to speak. And from there, it just kept going and I kept getting invited to other places. And since working with you, I've now done 2 TEDx talks. I'm writing a second book. I'm actually transitioning. So I still have the salon, but I've launched a completely new business. And if you're just open and willing to take that first step, you have no idea what your life may look like in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years from now. So just be open to the process.
Natasha, oh my God. I'll never forget our first meeting when we had our interview and you told me your story and your passion, your mission. I was like, wow, what a powerhouse woman. And I remember there was this moment, right? It's just worth a laugh, and my doorbell rang. And I answered my door and I came back and Natasha was like, oh my God, I'm impressed. I said, why? She said, you fully dressed. I was like, yeah, I am fully dressed today. There's no pajama pants. She's like, I thought your background is also fake. I was like, no, it's real.
Her background was so beautiful. I'm like, you know, I always have my little fake background, as you see by my hands going out, right? Because I'm in the salon. I have on sweatpants underneath here, which you can kind of see. So I was like, she's so fancy.
Not every day. And right now I do have a virtual background, just because it's a different setting, but I just wanted to share that moment. But Natasha, congratulations on all your achievements. It's phenomenal
Thank you.
continue to see you celebrating. You're like, one day you're in Paris delivering a talk, another day you're doing some amazing things, you're doing TED Talk. I'm like, oh my God, you're such inspiration.
I just want to share one thing before I hop off and let these other amazing speakers come on. It's just something that's helped me that someone shared with me that I just want to share with you guys is just being authentic is so important. Like, yes, we share tips and tools and strategies, but people connect through our stories. And it's so easy to feel embarrassed or ashamed. I've been on stages with doctors and lawyers, and I'm a hairstylist, right? I have a background. I went to jail, dealt with addiction. I spent years homeless, right? And so it's easy to feel intimidated by some of our lower moments, but by opening up and being willing to share and be authentic with our story, people connect and they feel your spirit and they feel your heart and you inspire them along the way. So I can't wait to chime in and just be in the audience and hear all you amazing speakers this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Natasha.
I'm going to listen to everybody else. I'm going to just turn my video off so I'm not moving around and distracting people.
No worries. Thank you so much. Thanks, Natasha. So this was Natasha, and please, Natasha, drop your information in the chat for people to connect. She certainly has had an incredible life story, and she was a powerhouse on our summit in 2022. All of these talks you get to catch on replay. So if you have attended Women Thrive Summit this year and you grabbed yourself a ticket and you have replay access, you can actually access all of our summits there right now. It is on our website to log in. And I believe yesterday you would have received also a reminder email of how to access all of your replays. And if you have not got a replay, we've just introduced actually a monthly opportunity for you to subscribe to our content. So now, not only for those who perhaps purchased a ticket before, so you have a whole year's worth of access, but actually we have a monthly subscription for $9.97. So actually by just subscribing for a month, you're able to access all of our incredible content. So I definitely encourage you to do that. And I'll get Rachel to pop that in a chat right away. It's been a bit of a tech whirlwind for us to set everything up. So, right, I want to kind of transition almost, not quite yet, but we're on the edge of transitioning into 2023. So I have another special lady on our stage today to share a few words. And this lady, I also was blown away by our first interaction, and I felt like my walls were shaking when I first had an interview with her. And this year she had been assigned a special role to be the cheerleader of our purpose and our mission on the summit. And I guess one of her titles is Elder, which means she's also actually one of our elder speakers. Not that we are very much age diverse, but being in her 60s, she has a lot of wisdom to bring. And I particularly love Dr. Coylette and her story because in her 60s, she has achieved some incredible accolades, multiple books, her master's degree, her bachelor's degree, her doctorate degree. She's now a woman in tech. She's still in a full-time role at her job and does inspirational speaking. And my goodness, you have to hear her talks on our summit. So Coylette, thank you for being the cheerleader of our purpose and our mission this year and coming back the second time around to be a speaker on our stage. I value your contribution dearly.
Thank you so much. It has definitely been my honor and my pleasure. I put in the chat a few minutes ago about the spirit of the Women Thrive Summit, and it's just so amazing because there is such a community of womanhood and sisterhood within the summit. And it is just, I'm like giddy seeing all the ladies from last year. It was just like, oh my God, because you make all of these bonds with one another going through the process and what have you. So thank you, Ramonda, for allowing me to participate a second year. And just it's been such an amazing journey. I am so so grateful to be among so many women that their passion in life is to see other women succeed, to see other women thrive, to see other women rise above whatever it is that they have encountered in life to move forward. To utilize the voice that they have been given and to speak out. And that's thanks to you. That's because of your willingness, Ramonda, to pour back in to other women and for assembling us together and allowing us the opportunity and the honor to pour into the lives of others. I'm grateful. As Ramonda said, I am one of the elders. And it's okay. It's okay. It was so funny. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and this individual is a couple of years younger than me, but they were like, yeah, I'm only 35. It's just like, and I'm like, listen, I am 66. I am thanking God for every one of those years, and I don't want to go backwards because I don't want to repeat anything. Okay. All I want to do is go forward, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to move forward. Forgive my lights, you guys, they're on an automatic sensor. And if I sit still, they go off. But, it is just such an opportunity to utilize the wisdom and the experience that you gain in life through the different trials and tribulations that you walk through to be able to help others on their journey to go forward. So it's an honor to be here. I'm so grateful again to be among all of these wonderfully beautiful, talented, and unbelievably powerful women. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Colette. And just to kind of remind some of the ladies in terms of what were your talks on the summit and what is your core message?
All right. So last year, my talk was Unleash the Power of Your Brilliance. And it was about you stepping out of the shadows of who you really were created and meant to be and allowing that light, that inner glow that's within you to shine. And this year, it was for such a time as this, the importance of your existence in this appointed time. It is so important that we understand, number one, none of us are a mistake. None of us are a oops. I don't care what happened on how you came into this earth realm. You were not a mistake. You were definitely birthed forth because God had a purpose for you. And it was for this appointed time in your life. If not, you would have been born in another time frame. But he put you right here, right now. We walk through so many different things, especially as women. All right, especially because we have societal abuses sometimes that we have to undergo. We have physical abuses that we sometimes encounter. We're told even subliminally, some directly, but some just subliminally, you're not good enough. You're not worthy, to be in certain settings. You don't have enough power within you to sit at the seat of authority. But that's a lie. That is a straight lie. You are worthy, you are valuable, and you do have the power within you to accomplish whatever it is that you set out to do. So the core of my message, especially to women, is to know that first and foremost, you're daughters of the King, that you have power that was built within you, and you need to walk in that. You have the right to sit at the table of authority, to enact change around you, to enact change in society, to enact change in your working environment, to enact change in your home. You have the right and the power to do that. And once you walk into the fact of seeing yourself through different eyes, seeing yourself as valuable, seeing yourself as worthy to sit in these places, you will carry yourself in a different way, and you will allow yourself to shine. You will allow yourself to make sure no one ever devalues you again. If somebody else has a problem with you, you will learn that is their problem, because you know who you are, you know your value, and when you walk into a room, your presence comes in with you. The light comes in with you. And once light walks into a dark situation, it's illuminated. So my core message is just to be all you were created to be. Walk in the greatness that's within you, and know that there is a world out there waiting for you in your own unique fashion. They need you.
Give it up for Quillette. Give her flowers. I am so grateful.
Thank you.
We all say we just have to let Quillette speak sometimes. And just receive, just be in a moment of receival.
Oh,
And if you got to attend any of Quillette's talks, you will understand just what it means to be in your presence, Quillette, and your wisdom. And we humbly receive your message today.
thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your contribution. It's been amazing to have you on the summit, and we hope to continue a journey with you. And of course, Quillette was also spotlighted in the Women Thrive book this year, so that became a bestseller. So Quillette, again, if you want to read her story, it's available in the book. I will take you off of spotlight for a moment, but thank you so much for those beautiful words.
Thank you.
And do make sure you check out Quillette's talk at the summit on the replay. Of course, for such time as this, your presence matters. It is required. You're called. Your mission, your purpose is calling you. And I am calling you, ladies, if your mission and purpose is calling you, to still apply for the Women Thrive Summit 2024, because for such time as this may be your time to be on this journey with us, to be the one spotlighted on our stage, to share your story, to inspire someone. You may not even know how powerful your story is and how much needed it is right now in the world for someone to receive. And what Quillette's message, you have been appointed. You have some people appointed to you whose lives you have to transform, inspire, motivate, and change. And only by answering this call and answering your purpose in this life, and stop shying away from taking that, sitting at that table of authority, building your table of authority, you are denying somebody an opportunity. I could have said 6 years ago, I'm not a speaker, I'm too afraid to speak, I don't know how to host events, and not answer this calling. But here I am, so many years later, I am speaking, hosting events, creating a platform for all the women here. And believe it or not, and if you have been following some parts of my story and my journey, I didn't have a voice. I lost my voice in mid-20s. I struggled with it. I struggled to record a video, even though I really wanted to. I struggled to speak, even to speak up normally to people. I struggled to put together a few sentences for a social media post when I was in my mid-20s. Lost my identity, lost my confidence. But here I am today, doing what today I love the most. Inspiring people. And again, had I not answered my call and I said, you know, I will do this. And at the beginning, I wasn't given any speaking opportunities. I wasn't invited to speak at any events. But you know what I did? I built my own events. That's what I did. And over time and time and time, I challenged myself to keep standing up on stage and speaking and using my voice. And the first time I had to do it, to share my story, I was so scared I delayed the whole event by half hour. Just not to get on the stage and share my story because I was so scared. And I remember rewatching my video that was recording of my talk, and I was like, wow, how posed I was on the stage. But inside, I was shaking. And there was a moment in this talk that I was doing, and I was looking at my audience, and the audience were frozen. And as they were frozen, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, what if they're not enjoying my talk right now? What if this is going all wrong? And at the end, they all clapped and they said, thank you, this was wonderful. And I was like, oh, okay, now I can breathe. Actually, the truth was, they were just interested and they were just listening to my story. Apparently I was engaging. So that was my first time where I learned that actually you just have to trust the process. You just have to take the stage and take the opportunity given to you. And there's no one in the audience there to judge you. There's no one in the audience to say, well, who is she? That's your mind saying, who is she to be on this stage? That's what I was saying to myself. But the audience weren't thinking that. They were simply just receiving my message at that moment. Some who needed that. So without delaying much further, because we have some celebrations to do and some notable speakers to talk about and some of their talks, and maybe hear a few words from them, I will bring on some slides to show you just a recap of the event that we had this year and to celebrate some notable contributions. As we're doing that, feel free, if we have any speakers in the house who we are celebrating, feel free to drop your information in the chat. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, network, connect. I'm very excited to bring forward our ceremony proceeds. So this is, hold on a minute, I need to make sure we're adjusting our view. So, welcome to the awards ceremony. I've never done this. In fact, I've never attended an awards ceremony, so I don't know how this goes. I don't know if we're going to get this right, but bear with me. I'm sure there should be some kind of music going on or something, but today the main purpose is just really celebrate and spotlight the women who made significant contribution to this event. And we have chosen some of these ladies because of just exceptional effort or things that they brought to the table in the community. And some of these names have also been mentioned by you that as most enjoyed talks. So I don't know whether this is going to work. Just to recap, just some of it was myself who introduced the event. I'm sure we are mainly connected with everyone, and you probably receive emails from me as the founder of the Women Thrive Summit. We heard from Manya, as well Natasha and Dr. Coilette. So just to recap, day one of the Women Thrive Summit 2023, it was all about unlocking your purpose. And I truly believe that this is the beginning, the foundation of your existence. As Coilette said, this is your purpose, why you are here today. Why do you do what you do? Why do you exist? What is the purpose of your existence? So day one was really about unlocking your purpose, finding your voice, finding your courage. And some of these amazing women have spoken just on this particular topic. Of course, there was some diversity from Sally cracking your confidence code, talking about confidence, and particularly Lee Marianos talked about their acceptance is not required, how to be bold, audacious, and fearless. Yeah, we talked with Erlene about evolution of purpose, Dr. Coilette for such time as this. So just some notable names, and I want to award the first recipients of the awards of the Women Thrive Summit, the following names who we believe have made significant contribution, and I will tell you why we chose these women. So this was day one, and we choose our winners by day. 4, 5, or 6 speakers from each day who have made significant contribution. So I don't have any music here to play in the background, but I want to announce the amazing winners of the day one awards. If I can get this working. Yay, congratulations to all of these amazing speakers. And I want to mention them individually who have been significantly, I guess, made an impact, and I will mention why for each name that appears on this picture right now. So Sally Prosser, who has been, she's in Australia. She was volunteering to co-host some of these talks on day 2, I believe, and day 3. And she also contributed to fellow speakers because she's also a speaking coach, and she's been able to just contribute some of the guidance and support and the production. And she was so dedicated to show up to all the meetings behind the scenes. I want to mention Alex Gisbeck. She's based in Spain. She delivered day 1, and Sally was actually an opening speaker on day 1. So this is not a small feat to do an opening talk as well. Alex particularly, she said at the beginning, she said, you know how many times it took me to apply to your summit? I was hovering over your application and I filled it out 5 times. And finally on the last day of your call, I put this application in. Because she was so afraid that perhaps she wasn't ready, she wasn't afraid, she wasn't good enough. But actually, when it came down to it, she really crushed it. And she helped other women also to figure out how to deliver their talks, because her signature thing is about delivering a kick-ass webinar. And she also has a podcast around confidence. So she has overcome a huge, again, challenges in her life, and she has an amazingly inspirational story, but she doesn't know how amazing she is. So we wanted to just really recognize that. Now, Lee Mariano, I am really fond of Lee because her delivery, her message was truly, truly exceptional. If you have replay access, I would take notes of some of these speakers and their talks, because really Lee Mariano stood out for her talk and her content and delivery. If there was one speaker that you also need to see, is definitely Lee. Now, we had some headline speakers, and for day one, Sonia Zarbatani was one of our headline speakers, and she really brought some real conversations, as you would expect probably headline speakers to bring this polished talk and everything. But I think what she really brought was down to earth conversation with us about personal brand, about showing up, about being authentically yourself and growing community around it, and just how important that is to have that. So she is an incredibly successful woman based in Canada, has grown her community globally. And I think a lot of you were inspired by her talk, and it was pretty evident in the chat. Now, Arlene, she has a TV production company in the Caribbean, and Arlene, she's just big ball of energy on this summit. But what I loved, and what some women said that they loved about her, not just Arlene, but I guess the representation from the Bahamas. So Arlene has brought her cheerleaders, and in just a few hours, she had so many signups to her talk that attended her talk about purpose. And this is what we aim to do, to have actually representation from all around the world. And some women from the Caribbean said it was so nice to see my fellow women from the Caribbean representing. Arlene as well as Bergen were featured on the TV just days before the summit, talking about women empowerment and talking about the summit. So I am grateful for that. It was the first time we got mentioned on the TV or spotlighted like this. So I'm super grateful. And she has another empowering and inspiring platform called Journey TV in the Caribbean. Marina Beach, congratulations, Marina. And if you were at the summit and you have had the opportunity to experience Marina's talk, I'm sure you will agree that was really inspirational talk. As well as, I have to mention that Marina was one of the really significant cheerleaders in this process. She was leader of one of the teams behind the scenes, and she would come onto our weekly meetings, take notes, inform everyone, be an absolute star. So her dedication and contribution has been significant. And Marina, if you don't mind, I'd love to bring you on stage just to share just a few words of your moments on the summit. And last but not least, of course, it was Dr. Coylette James, who you just heard from. And for me, Coylette's talk was really, really inspirational. I think it was pretty evident again from the audience just how impactful her talk was on the summit. And I just believe that she brings a lot of wisdom to the platform, to the women she represents, what it's like to never give up and never really give up on yourself, no matter how difficult life can get. And for me, I could listen to Dr. Coylette every day, and lucky enough, she does a daily live stream on her Instagram and Facebook. So if you do get to follow Coylette, you can actually tap into her wisdom every single day. So congratulations to day one winners of your wonderful awards. Thank you for your contribution and participation. And I would love to bring Marina just to share a few words about her experience on the summit. Congratulations, Marina.
Yay! Oh, thank you, Raymonda. And it's lovely to see all of you beautiful ladies here, some of the speakers, some of the attendees, and some new people, I believe, as well, which is amazing. The whole process was transformational. It was intense. I really went all in on the process because something just drove me to kind of really go all in on this. And I think if you really want to get the most out of something like this, where you're really wanting to evolve and grow and understand your story and to heal, and also be part of an incredible community and make beautiful new connections and heal sister wounds and all of those types of things, then you've got to really commit to yourself, to the process. And the more that you can do that, the more you get from it. And so I unwittingly kind of committed to the process. I didn't know I was going to go all in. And I have evolved, I have grown, I feel more confident with speaking about my story, sharing more about my emotions, and feeling a deeper connection to myself. And this was something that I never anticipated, that this process would facilitate a deep healing within me. So that was a bonus that I got. So ladies, if you're thinking about jumping in for next year, you are going to get far more than what you anticipate, and welcome that with open arms. That's what I would say. And the connection in the community and the women and the way we support each other, it's like nothing else that I've experienced. It really isn't. And I've been part of different events, and this is it's just a beautiful thing to step into. So I feel very honored to have been part of it.
Thank you, Marina. Well, your efforts and contribution has definitely shined through in the whole process. And yeah, I wish we would have Marina every year. But I do know you have an important business to run. So shameless plug, I have Miss Marina's Akashic Records oracle cards, which she has been working on for quite a while, and she launched it just a few months before, a few weeks actually before the summit.
Yeah, wow.
Beautiful copy. So do make sure you grab this Akashic Records oracle cards if you're into it. If you don't know what Akashic Records are, because I didn't know that before the summit or before meeting Marina, and she kindly introduced me to that. So you can grab a replay of Marina's talk on the summit and find out all about it and find out why the experience on her talk was magical. Thank you, Marina. Lovely to see you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Another winner of day one, I want to welcome, because I didn't see you on camera earlier, Alex, but I want to just say hello because I haven't seen you for a while. I know you've been traveling, and congratulations on your win.
Hello, Raymonda. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Well, it really means a lot to me. And as you said, I was afraid to apply. But I can just say, I can salute Marina. I mean, this whole experience was truly transformational on so many levels. Like, honestly, it was just not like preparation for the talk and that's it. I mean, yeah, it was a healing process as well. It was amazing support because like all of the speakers, honestly, we've been going through a lot and some deep SHIT as well in the meantime. And the support, the love, the kindness was absolutely amazing. And also, if you're thinking about applying and you are not sure what you will be talking about, I can tell you that this process will help you. Actually, I was pivoting in my business, and thanks to Raymonda's knowledge, experience, and deadlines that we needed to submit different things by, it gave me so much clarity and it gave me so much purpose and confidence. So I'm so grateful for the whole experience. for being around you and your wisdom, your knowledge, your experience, your expertise, your kindness, and your love for all of us, and meeting the most wonderful women and collaborations we are already doing. We've done, and I had like many ladies already, because I was on their podcast, and it will be more coming. So no, I honestly cannot thank you enough for everything that it was going on behind the scenes and in a spotlight, and I really recommend it to everyone, honestly.
Thank you, Alex. And it was very brave of you to go second in the summit, even though you were last to apply.
Yes.
But
Thank you.
one of the highlight moments with Alex was we would have weekly meetings on every Wednesday, and there was 2 meetings because of different time zones. So we'd have a morning and an evening. And the morning calls, usually Alex and Lorna and Natalie and a couple others would join in these calls. And we would just have so much fun. It was a smaller group than the evening one. We would just have so much fun. And we would talk about everything, about our lives, about our businesses, about marketing, just collaborations, and sometimes hit the wall with some things. And I guess this is the part that most people didn't get to see unless you were in this journey. And those connections, as you say, were just so magical to just have that time every Wednesday morning, wake up early, sometimes no makeup, no shower, no nothing. We just jump on to meet each other and be so excited. And, no matter how little the group was sometimes in the mornings, would just make it the most magical experience. I wouldn't want to get off these calls.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like interesting because we were like from all different continents, but the connection was there. And I know we were one of the first ones that found out that you were pregnant. We shared so many different things that everybody was going through. So sometimes even our family didn't know, and all these ladies were the first one to share all the moments, difficult and beautiful moments with. So I'm really truly grateful, and this is just the beginning. Yes,
Exactly.
of a wonderful journey. So thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And, Rachel will have some of your celebratory posts to share and celebrate with the world. So I want to share day 2 highlight moments and women we want to celebrate. If you have any questions, feel free to share it in a chat and ask. Rachel's here to support you with any links you may need. And welcome to everyone if you're just joining in late. Good to see you all. Do feel free to introduce yourself in the chat and network as well. So this was day 1. Day 2, I am excited to spotlight day 2. So day 2 was all about leadership and career development. And we had some wonderful panels as well as speakers from different backgrounds. Some of these women have been working in a corporate, have gone through the ladder, and actually found their purpose in serving the world. So some of the speakers we had Michelle Keogh from Australia, Myra Fordham, also from Australia, Anne-Marie Graham from Ireland, Sarah Needham from Germany, Nina Moraru, who is currently based in Dubai, Alara Dawn from the UK, Laura Foster from the United States, Sheba Wilson from Turks and Caicos, Qatar from Canada, and also Tina from New Zealand. So as you see, such a diverse panel of women that we had on day 2 on leadership and career building, sort of powerhouse women that shared wealth of wisdom. So I want to congratulate and celebrate some of the women who contributed on day 2 and some of the sessions that truly stood out for us on this day. So congratulations to our wonderful winners. Yes, Michelle, Sarah, Sheba, and Tina. And I want to mention individually of why these women were selected. Now, Michelle, such a powerhouse woman. She came into this process with a particular theme to help others get into consulting. And as she had two threads of the business, I guess it wasn't as easy to find really the thing that she wanted to speak on. But Michelle, when it came to deliver of her talk, she really blew us away. Such engaging, powerful, insightful deliverer of her talk. And I truly felt like it brought a lot of value no matter where you are in your business or your career. So if you haven't caught Michelle's talk, which I know many of you may have not been able to because she's in Australia and she was the day 2 opening speech. So definitely encourage you to go back and watch. Sarah Needham, she has a beautiful story and background and experience in what she does. And she spoke a lot about leadership, authentic leadership. She's a contributor for Forbes, a speaker. She works in a diverse tech environment and she speaks on different conferences. Sarah did a test run at the pre-summit test. And actually, her talk during the summit really stood out again for her message of what her talk contained. So there was wonderful feedback about Sarah's talk, and she really made us question of our position in a world of leadership. Not just necessarily whether you have a position of leadership, but how to be a better leader in all areas of your life. Now, Sheba, I have to say, this was one of my highlight moments, not only just working with Sheba in this whole process, but also hearing her talk, Get Up and Lead. Now, Sheba's message, very inspiring, motivational. I think we could all agree if you got to attend Sheba's talk that she is a fantastic speaker. And for me, she really stood out and set a beautiful example of what a professional speaker is like. So Sheba, congratulations. You are certainly one of my highlights of this year. And I'm so proud to have you on the summit, and congratulations. Another speaker who joined us last on day 2 of the summit, Tina. Tina's talk was really, really powerful, really inspiring, really real and raw. And just to remind myself of her talk title, because it wasn't necessarily a usual one, how to rewildling. I can't even say the word, but how to really escape the corporate and find freedom in life. And for me, this was really, really inspirational talk. I saw the audience reaction to it, and I thought her talk really needed to spotlight. So thank you and congratulations to the winners of day 2. And I would love to welcome Sheba to share a few words to kind of accept your flowers, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Raymonda. Thank you so much to everyone, really. It was such an awesome experience. The sisterhood, the entire process of just preparing, it was one of really personal transformation. You know, sometimes you doubt your own ability. So it's always good to have people that you admire validate that, because sometimes you can tend to, and we've heard it a few times today, you tend to doubt what you're really capable of, or that your voice matters and that your story is good enough to be on stage with other stories. And so for me, I would say to those persons who are in the room, the virtual room, and you're considering being a speaker, I think if you've never spoken before, or if you've done a little bit of speaking and you want to grow as a speaker, in my personal experience, I've done a lot of virtual summits. This was by far the most organized, the most supportive community of women. And that was really the difference in anything else that I've done in terms of a summit or speaking with large groups virtually. So the work that goes on behind the scenes, I can only imagine, but they keep you on your toes. I mean, the team was just well organized. You knew what your deadlines were. They didn't let you forget anything. They really kept you on top of your game. And so that was really important for us as speakers. And then the friendships that we fostered as women and continue to collaborate and to support each other, that in itself is worth it, right? And the opportunities, I heard another speaker from 2022 share about this as well, the opportunities that come your way as a result of the visibility created by this platform. So I just want to say thank you to Raimonda and the team for all of the work that went on behind the scenes. I can't even begin to fathom what that looked like, but I do know from the experience that I had that it must have been a lot, but you guys handled it gracefully and you did a very professional job. And so thank you very much. Thank you for building this platform. And thank you to all of the wonderful ladies that have been friends to me, been support to me. And I hope that I have just been just as supportive to you on this journey. So congratulations to all the speakers.
Thank you so much, Shiva. Your contribution was felt every time you spoke. It was just pure inspiration, and you got to catch Shiva's talk, especially if you are an aspiring speaker, and just some of the techniques she used in her speaking. I highly recommend someone who does support and train speakers. I felt that Shiva's delivery and experience in speaking was exceptional. So congratulations. Thank you for your contribution and your beautiful words. There was a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you ladies don't get to see, but lucky, I guess this is our passion. And as much as I kept you ladies on your toes, you kept me on my toes too. Thank you, Shiva. I would love to invite somebody else to accept her flowers, because I see you there, Sarah, in the audience right now. And I just would love to say hello. How are you, my love?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Oops, things are seriously busy right now. So, yeah, everything is really good. I think that actually so much has happened since the summit, and I can't quite put my finger on what's changed. But like, I'm going over to London next week. I've got 2 big speaking events, and then in June I'm going down to Austria and doing a speaking event down there, which I've invited. Oh, I've brought one of the other girls with me as well. And it's so bizarre because, you know, in some ways nothing's changed, and in other ways so much has changed. And this is obviously just part of the process that you kind of create with this, is enabling us all to support each other, but also to actually believe that this is, you know, our space. And I do think that makes a real difference to how we all show up and what it enables us to do.
I love that. It's so precious. Really so precious that you feel even after everything is done, and it seems like we only just here on the stage for 40 minutes or an hour individually. But then somehow this whole energy just trickles down and continues far beyond it.
Yeah, I think so we had obviously our little groups as well, which were meeting regularly, or as regular as we could manage. And to begin with, I was quite overwhelmed by the whole thing and didn't really realize what I was taking on in terms of commitment and everything else. But it's, you know, it's being part of the process and being able to support each other, and then jumping on events like with Shiva and Guitar and Hannah, and doing lives and just things that, you know, otherwise we'd never have crossed one another's path. But actually being able to inspire one another, and just hearing what other people are actually talking about and thinking, there's so much here that we've all got to give. We all got a slightly different voice. We've all got different messages, but actually there's so much space for this. And there's a real need for it, especially in the world right now. And I mean, obviously this is part of what I spoke about the day, is like, there's so much stuff, excuse my language, shit that's going on in the world right now. And we need to find space like this where we can all explore, grow, challenge each other, collaborate, co-create, you know, and show the world that this can be done differently. Doesn't have to be in the way that we're currently seeing, and a lot of what's making us all uncomfortable. And that's kind of a space that is great. And I'm still trying to go back and watch other people's talks. I didn't get to see everything during the week. but it's also really nice just to know that everyone's there. And, you reach out to any of the people that have been on the cohort, even if you've never spoken to them before, and people make time for you. You have a chat. Great.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for sharing. Your wisdom is appreciated. I want to invite someone who perhaps wasn't a winner this time, but she has made a significant impact in the platform as well. And she's also initiated some interesting things on this summit. So I just wanted to invite Qatar to share some few words from her. She was featured on the cover of the magazine last month, I believe, and oh, sorry, my love, sorry, Tracy. Qatar, would love to hear a few words about your experience.
Oh, thank you, Raimonda. It's been really a beautiful experience. Like Marina had said, I think when I signed up, I wasn't quite sure what I had signed up for. I didn't realize the magnitude of the adventure. But you've been really on point, and you've kept us really going one step at a time. And I mean, for me personally, it's been in some ways a healing experience, because as you know, Raimonda, one of the things that I've dealt with a lot in my journey is trauma. And because of trauma, I've had to let go of many opportunities. And in this space, I came to a place where it almost happened again. But because of the way that we were able to have certain conversations and help me come back up to speed and really move through, it's really made a big difference. And it allowed me to fully make the most of the experience. And for me, that's really what I stand for, is creating a world where everyone can live in dignity and peace. And I think the way that you hold the space, the way that Rachel holds the space with you, it's everything that you said at the beginning. It's this sense of everyone matters, and we will all do whatever we can to the extent that we can, holding excellence as a value, but also being human in the process. And so it's been an absolutely incredible experience. I've had so many beautiful and amazing things happen. And yes, one of them has been being featured on the cover, which was such an amazing surprise. I mean, I woke up to Rachel's message and it was like, wow, completely unexpected.
I didn't tell you this. I sent you a message. Can I have a high quality images, please? And I didn't say anything. I was like, can you make sure that your images are like super high pixelated for print?
Yeah, thank you. No, I had absolutely no idea, but it's truly been a beautiful journey, and it's been about walking the talk. Like everything that you say, you've embodied through the process, and the relationships I think that we've created in this space, I know are going to last for a very long time. And just, we find the women that our souls are meant to work together and grow together and have an impact together. And it's truly just been empowering and beautiful.
Well, thank you, Qatar. Thank you for making me a better leader. Sometimes challenging me at times.
Yes,
testing my leadership skills, because this is something you talk about. You certainly put my leadership skills to test. But I'm grateful for that, because that has helped me grow through it as well.
Yeah, and thank you for receiving it, knowing that it was despite me. I was also working through my own stuff, and that's what being human is all about.
I understood, and yeah, we've had a wonderful journey. Yeah, I see Dr. Colette apologize. I'm being called to another meeting. Thank you so much. Wonderful light that you are. I love you so much. Thank you, Colette. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for your contribution. Qatar, thank you. I loved having you on this journey, and congratulations on also your awards that you received in London recently.
Oh, thank you so much, Raimonda. Yes, another beautiful surprise from the universe. So, thank you.
All right, so I hope you ladies how are you enjoying it? Can I just have a little check-in? How are you doing? Can I see some of you on camera? Can I get a little wave? Some of you who are not on camera, I see we're thinning out, and it's quite normal because we have been here for just over an hour, and appreciate for all of you who are staying on. It's truly, truly grateful. I do see one of our speakers who's scheduled for us to share a little message. I might be a little bit more spontaneous and invite some of our just speakers throughout in between these nominations. Bear with. Jan, are you okay to kind of hold on for another 15, 20 minutes? Yeah, we'll hear from you. Nita, would you like to share a few words as well in maybe in the next, after the next announcement? I would love to hear from you if you don't mind.
Sure.
Amazing. Amazing. Good to see some familiar faces. And if you don't have your camera on, please feel free to put it on. We want to get to know you. For those who have attended, I'd love to hear from you also what has been your highlight moment. So if there was a speaker that specifically stood out for you, a moment of transformation or something that you feel like you had an experience of during the summit, please feel free to share in the chat or even raise your hand if you want to get up on stage and share something. Now we are headed for, nearly made a spoiler. We're headed for day 3, mindset and inner healing. This was pretty sensitive day, and I just want to say thank you to our speakers who have been open and vulnerable and willing to bring their personal stories, experiences, and some traumas online in the name of healing, in the name of supporting others and making impact. Day 3 was filled with not always easy stories, but always inspiring. And I must say, it's not easy. Healing is a journey. Healing is something we have to embrace, and it happens sometimes in most unexpected ways. And trauma also can happen at any time of our lives. It can happen in our childhood. It can happen because of others doing onto us. And it can happen in our adulthood when we go through later stages in our lives. And sometimes we may not even be aware of our traumas or how these traumas are triggering us, or the cause, or even what it's doing to us further down the line. So in day 3, we really shed a light on different aspects of trauma, healing, experiences. And I don't wish to necessarily name in different situations in life that these women have had to experience, unfortunately. But I'm grateful to have had their voices and their messages on our stage to inspire and empower others. And if you haven't got the chance to catch some of the day 3 talks, I highly encourage you to do that. So congratulations to our speakers who have been highlighted and nominated for our awards from day 3. Very proud of you, ladies. Thank you for your contribution, and congratulations, ladies, from day 3. Now, I want to mention these women specifically and for their contributions. First of all, Caroline Bellinger from Australia. Congratulations, Caroline. She's not here right now because it is probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in Australia. But Caroline, oh my goodness, is she an unstoppable woman? She done so much behind the scenes to not only just promote the summit, to show up. Sometimes she would show up at 5 o'clock in the morning to our meetings. She was driving incredible traffic to our website. I was like, where are these clicks coming from? And then I check in and it's just Caroline's link. And I'm like, Caroline, what are you doing? And she had like thousands of clicks to our website. I'm like, what are you doing? I was just like, I'm just running some ads. I'm just playing with it. But above all that, Caroline's talk was very, very inspirational. It wasn't myself hosting, it was Sally who hosted Caroline. But I was here glued to the screen. I couldn't even walk away from it because Caroline's talk was just so inspirational, motivational. Highly encourage you to watch that. Next up, Yamari. Yamari's talk was powerful talk. Her story of overcoming adversity and trauma was really inspirational. But more than that, Yamari's talk was also very practical. And sometimes when we talk about healing and trauma and we try to deliver inspirational talk, sometimes we miss the detail of the practicalities of how to do it. So for me, when I was listening to Yamari's talk, I was like, oh my goodness, this lady insightful in her delivery. So I highly encourage you to watch Yamari's talk. I also want to spotlight Nanette. Hi, Nanette. Not only can Nanette was super dedicated to this whole process and growth and feedback, but Nanette actually came on as a first-time speaker on our platform. And she really did this with purpose to do more public speaking and really show up. And to me, Nanette, you're really growing through this process. It's been a pleasure to work with you. Your contribution, your dedication, this whole process really shone through. And I think your talk was very, very well received. And you're doing an important work in terms of supporting women through their divorce and also putting your own story on the line for the name of inspiration and empowerment. So congratulations. Helen Ferguson from France, who also had a beautiful inspirational talk talking about trauma. And wow, Helen talked about one of her clients, a little girl that she's mentoring, and her beautiful and inspirational message in her talk. I highly encourage you to go and watch Helen. Helen might not be the loudest voice on the platform, but oh my goodness, was she inspirational. So I want to congratulate Helen for her contribution to this platform and being that quiet, nurturing, supportive, and powerful voice on this platform, because she has gone through her own incredible trauma, and the work she's doing not only with adults but also children in her work, and also training other people in the area of not just mentorship and counseling for children. That is her stepping into leadership and making a huge ripple effect in the world. So I wanted to spotlight Helen because I believe that her work will go so far in this world in making a better future. Tiffany Marshall, congratulations to Tiffany. Her contribution was well received, a beautiful talk. She gone through her own challenges and transformations during this summit. I know many of us have gone through our own challenges before and during the summit. Yamari has actually found her real mother in the process of this summit. Not something necessarily she shared quite openly during the summit, but she was going through a lot of healing during the process of the summit, but yet she still showed up, delivered, and she has one of the most beautiful energies about her and true authenticity. And she always just wants to give her best to any stage that she shows up. So I'm just grateful for her contribution. I also want to say congratulations to our Women Thrive book authors, who actually delivered one of the most outstanding panels. And we have had a lot of feedback about the panel of the Women Thrive book authors who contributed to this summit. And I'm so, so grateful, because their panel, their stories that they contributed was so inspirational. And if you have not got the chance to actually read the book, Women Thrive, Inspiring True Stories of Women Overcoming Adversity, you sure have to grab this book. It's available on Kindle and hard copy all around the world. So, and if you didn't get to catch the panel that we shared during day 3 of the summit, do make sure you take a note to do so. So congratulations to our day 3 winners. I'm super excited. I want to welcome and say hello to some of our speakers from day 3. I'd love to start with Yamari. Welcome back.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm kind of lost, to be honest, because I jumped in right after her call that I had right in time to hear this. So it means a lot to me, as Raymonda mentioned, and I know some other members who are here who supported me while I was going through the challenges. It took a lot out of me to prepare for this talk. I was experiencing a lot of adversity. A lot of my old childhood trauma came up around visibility and feeling safe, being heard and seen. And you guys were amazing and supportive throughout this process. And so to hear that I was nominated and awarded, I'm just so grateful, and I just feel so humbled by this experience and this award. So thank you so much.
What was your highlight moment in the process?
I don't know if there was an actual moment, because the entire journey for me personally was just so beautiful. I've forged some really unique connections with Paige, Christine, Tammy, and some of the other members in the program. Just feeling supported as I was navigating those challenges. Like, the community itself was the highlight for me. It wasn't a moment. It was just having that community to support me as I was navigating all of these changes and transitions and working through my own personal stuff at the same time. So yeah, I don't know if I could pick a singular moment.
Oh, it was so hard to pick the winners of the awards for me, for us as a team. I had to lean on my team. I was like, do you think this is the right decision? My highlight moment with you, Yamari, and I'm still trying to master your name. I always say Yamari, but I know it's Yamari. So my apologies, the way I say it. It's just the way I call you, if you don't mind. Has been the podcast, for us recording our podcast and having some of those moments behind the scenes and having our little chit chats. That was beautiful, just to have a bit of time just to ourselves and do the prep work. And definitely my highlight moment was your talk and the content within your talk. I know you have poured in a lot of work to prepare for it, and it just absolutely shined through in the process. So grateful for all the preparation you've done, and I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you guys. Yeah, I think I seriously mean it when I say I got so much out of the experience. The connections themselves were, I mean, there's no price tag you can put on that. The kind of connections that I was able to build, and even both the practical and the emotional skills that I gained as being a part of this process. So I really appreciate it, guys.
Oh, thank you. Well, we hope to see more of you on this stage, because you're truly inspirational. Your story is beautiful. And if you haven't caught Yamari's talk or her podcast, do make sure you do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, my love. Appreciate it. If we have Nanette, I saw you in the car, so if you're not able to come on, I truly understand, but I did want to call on Nanette. But it's fine. If not, I would love to say hello to Neetu, who, okay, no worries. Thank you for letting me know. Neetu, I would love to welcome you as one of our panelists for the Women Thrive book. Just share a little bit about yourself, your experience. We come a long way. You were actually, we started preparing for Women Thrive Summit last year, and we couldn't actually make it for you to speak on the summit, but you got to speak on the summit this year.
Yes, and it's been such a beautiful journey, from this journey with the Women Thrive, inspiring true stories of women overcoming adversity, to Women's History Month and this panel. And I just want to start by congratulating you, Raimonda, on another successful event. I want to congratulate all the women and commend you really for sharing your story. You've inspired so many to speak up, to take that forward action, and really motivated so many on this journey that you've been on. And, we're all really here for a reason. And sometimes it's to turn that passion into purpose. And so I founded an empowerment clothing line for women and girls, and the proceeds benefit youth education and empowerment, specifically for young girls and their educational needs. I'm also co-owner of Countryside Corp here in Kern County, California, with my husband and family. And it's just such a joy to work alongside our employees and really be a part of their lives. And, for everyone that's on this session today and that was part of the summit or part of the book, I mean, really, we all collectively are here for a reason. And whether it's to embrace a new change in your life, positivity, to gain strength along the way, or a perspective, And whether you know it or not, your story and your life experiences, as private as I know many of us have kept close to our hearts, really can be a propelling and driving force, not only for ourselves, but also to create that positive change for others. So I just want to congratulate everyone again, and tell you to really embrace every part of you, because when you do, oh my gosh, does that door of opportunity open up? And you know what? You really have whatever you need within you, and you've had it within you at birth. So just really, use what you've got to propel yourself forward and embrace every part of you. So congrats again.
Thank you, Nita, and congratulations on being on a panel, having a best-selling book, and all the amazing support that you have given to the fellow speakers, authors, and just your contribution on this platform. I truly, truly value it. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Next up, before we go on to day 4 and day 5 announcements of the speakers, I have another special guest who I'd like to include in today's proceeds. She's one of the speakers of 2022 Summit, and I'd love for you to meet her. Her name is Tanel Dickens, who personally I feel very, very inspired by her message. What a powerhouse woman. And I'm so grateful to have her come back to our stage. Hi, Tanel.
Hello, hi. So good to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Tanel, it's so good to see you. I feel like we haven't seen each other for a while. Last time we chatted was around September last year, and you've been on such a mission. You moved countries, you've been working on some mega projects behind the scenes. I remember like today when we first connected, and one moment with you that really stood out when we were pouring in on our Instagram live. We were just really like going in with this whole fire on this Instagram. And the next thing you know, our views just jumped from like, I don't know, 50 people maybe watching, and it jumped to like 1,000 something. I'm like, what's going on? Just lit the stage on fire. And every time we speak to Tanel, you just bring this magic and fire and power. I want you to speak a little bit about just your passion, what you do, why you do what you do, and to inspire our women today, because your voice, my goodness, is so, so powerful.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you. I think for many of us on here, there's always a moment that changes something for you. It sparks something, it explodes something, it uncovers something. And I think being a part of the Women Thrive Summit, one of the things that it did for me, it was almost like a rebirth. I had been speaking for a while. I started speaking since I was about 23. I am 23, but let me just stop joking, but I'm 38 right now. 38, 9 kids. I'm the head of One Woman Movement. That's a coaching company. My aim of the coaching company is to help women overcome, internal hindrances to their success. So my main aim is to really help them launch their life's mission. When I came up onto the stage to speak, my aim was to pour out, because I hadn't spoken for a little bit. I was in a phase of mothering for a period of time, and on a beautiful phase, but I was getting back into speaking a bit. Had been on stages still, but in our mind, we always have this thing, we have to be on this many stages, we got to do this many things, we always have these goals. And getting back on the stage to speak at the Women Thrive Summit, I would say it ignited something. It unlocks something. And, for some of you on here, you probably felt that, when you get on the stage, you're like, I feel free. I feel like I'm flying, like I am in my element here. Prior to that, you're probably feeling, I'm so terrified. I want to leave. I want to flee. I want to hide, but it ignites something. It's like a part of you connected with destiny. And that's what happened for me. A part of you connects with a part inside there that you really didn't discover before. It's there, but it was like hiding in a corner. And it was like a coming out moment in a sense, where it shifted from just me, speaking before and going through a season where things were a little bit more, dormant, to something really sparking and lighting a fire. So I would say it really broke me out into a place. I've been on stages after, I've been on podcasts, interviews. I have my own group, so I kind of working with my group, but it really sparked something. And I'd say, Raimonda, thank you so much for being obedient to what you feel on the inside of you. and also being so transparent and just honest. I think one of the things when I see you a lot of times, just even when I speak to you, there's just no pretense. You don't have a mask on. You're just like, this is me and I want to give to the world. And I think sometimes you need a brave leader to be able to live bravely. Somebody has to be a forerunner for things. Somebody has to be, a prototype of something genuine for you to be able to be unlocked. And I think that's what it's about. It's like Women Thrive Summit, even the name of it, it's a place where you can really step up and be authentic and really unlock what you feel is a part of you, is a part that wants to come alive, a part that wants to just soar and wants to be brave and wants to challenge the barrier that's in front of you. It's a place where you break through boundaries and internal hindrances and false identities that kept you back from just jumping out and being you. And I think that's one of the key things that happen. It's like you go through the pressure of feeling that initial scare, but the transformation that takes place in the process, you can't buy that. You can't pay for that. So those of you that are on here that you're just like, you're thinking, okay, I don't know if I want to sign up, not too sure. You're not just paying just to speak. That's not what it is. You're not just paying just to hear people speak. You're not doing any of that. What you're doing is that you are buying into your process and a part of your journey that's going to change things for you for forever. When something turns on in you, it's very difficult to turn it off, especially when it's something that's going to propel your future. So what's turned on for those that were speakers, that spoke at this conference here, it's not going to be switched off. As a matter of fact, it's going to heat up as you have more opportunities, so for those of you that are here that haven't heard the last, this group of speakers here, I would say, hey, go ahead, sign up, listen to the speakers, and not just that, but envision your future going through that process and really taking your life to another level.
Stop, just don't stop speaking. We missed Tanel on our stage. Can I just say we missed Tanel's light and fire on the stage? What question can I give you to light you up, girl?
It's been so, I have fun. When I come here, I have fun. I'm sorry. I have a lot of fun because you give us permission to be us. That I think that's the key thing. When you told me about speaking, I had a couple things that I wrote down here, and I'm like, I don't know how much time I have, but I just had a couple things that I wrote down here, and I just said, what am I going to share from my heart? Not what am I going to share from my mind, but what's really genuine, what's really true, especially with your platform that launches women. It's like I said, this is a launch, yo. I don't know. It's a graduation, but it's a launch. That's really what it is. It's launching you. It's like saying, here you go. Now it's time for you to jump out of the nest, step on the water, take off, don't have it in neutral, like shift gears in a sense, and activate and walk out. And you know what? There's a story in the Bible, and it speaks about Jabez. It's funny, Jabez prayed a short prayer. Like, you think it's insignificant. It's like this tiny, like there are many other figures in the Bible that are really, that have a bigger space in it. But he prayed a prayer about God extending his territory. And I read that prayer and I went into kind of researching it a bit. And it's about, the prayer that they prayed was opposite the name that he had. The name that he had spoke about him just being pain and his life being a life of pain. But the prayer that they prayed had to do with extending his territory. And that meant that he prayed a prayer opposite what was attached to him. And I think there just comes a season in our life where we have to strip off false identities. There's a lot of things that would come at you and say, you can't speak, you can't travel, you're a woman, you can't do this. And all the can'ts is going to come up to tell you these things, but it's external, really. When you sit down and you really, you lock in, Raimonda, when we lock in as women, we're like, no, that's not what I feel. But sometimes the voice of what you hear outside is so much stronger than what you feel at times. And you really need a community to be able to shut that voice down and allow what you've been made to do to rise up on the inside of you so you can really be activated. And I think that's a key to these conferences. It's women coming together to cause these little candlesticks to make a gigantic fire for us to just run and change this world.
What lights your fire in the world to be this powerhouse? Well, you got 9 kids, you got multiple projects and businesses. I mean, what lights your fire on a daily basis?
I would, when I spoke at the last conference, I spoke about purpose. Honestly, I just love seeing people really come alive. At times we out. and when we come alive to what we really are, I think that's just it. Then you're just like, all right, go ahead, you just be great. To see people come alive and really walk in their greatness, I think that's the best thing you can do for them, and that's part of what you're doing here. Because when people come alive, that's how you change the world, not sleeping on the things that are great about you, but waking up to the greatness in you and waking up to what you're called to do. That's how the world's changed.
Yes. Tanel, when can we have you back?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Whenever I'm here, I'm available. You've changed my life in many ways. You've impacted my life in a lot of ways. So I'm here.
Thank you. Appreciate you. You're amazing. You're such inspiration. I want to see so much more of you. Please keep sharing your speaking videos. Come back to our stage. Like I said, we have missed your voice on this platform and your light that you shine so bright. I hope, ladies, for those of you who may have a replay to the summit, go and grab Tanel's talk. Watch her on our podcast or social media. Find it. Okay. Follow Tanel on social media. You'll be inspired. And thank you so much for beautiful, kind words. I'm so grateful to just see how our work, how our platform impacts, and, the ripple effect that it causes way beyond just one event, one speaking engagement. It really, really, the night, and this, Tanel, that sometimes I work really late at night, or sometimes it gets really stressful. This gives it all meaning for those times when it gets tough, when it gets really hard, when, you go sleepless nights or whatever. Moments like this, when I hear the impact that this platform has made on women's lives individually, collectively, globally, it just so is worth it. I know, baby girl, she's kicking. She's like, Mama, you're getting emotional right here.
Yeah.
We get emotional, and we're here to pour our hearts out. So thank you. I'm grateful for you tonight.
All right, Mama, you take care of yourself.
See you soon. Thanks, my love.
Bye.
Yes, so she's got some things to say. She's got some things to say. I am very conscious of time. I want to say thank you for all of you sticking around and being here. I saw Caroline join, so I just want to say, Caroline, congratulations. You are one of the recipients of the awards, and you don't know it yet, but you were certainly a winner. I'd love to just say hello to you. I don't know what time it is out there, but good morning.
Good morning. I wasn't going to jump on because it's like 5 o'clock here now. I think it's got a bit later, but I've had this is the thing, like I've been at an event coaching for 3 days, like absolutely 4 hours sleep a night. I interviewed like 25 people all day yesterday for 10 hours. I look a mess, but that's okay. I think that's my whole thing, and what I've loved about this whole process and being a speaker at it was everyone being themselves. And I'm so passionate that women can just show up. You don't have to, be looking your best, be feeling your best, be this unauthentic person with makeup and back screens. You can just be you. And that's what I've loved about getting to know and that's what I love about you, Raimonda. You're just so beautiful at all times. And when you said that, even when you're struggling, you can show up and do what you can, but you're also vulnerable, and you let us know that it's okay, that things aren't always going. And I think that's really important, because we all get caught up in this world where we have to be something, feel like we have to be something, for everyone else. And all we have to really women, that's what connects us to other women, when we share our true, honest, authentic journey. So yes, I jumped on. I saw the post actually that I'd won, and I just was like, I'm very humbled. I'm very excited. It's been an absolute honor to meet so many women. I love working with women. So thank you, Raimonda. You are amazing. And it's such an honor to have been a part of this. And I have, like, you know, I say to every woman I meet, go on that journey.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I appreciate it. Good morning to you. I hope you started your day beautifully. And this is what I was saying about Caroline. Thanks, Caroline. Caroline will jump in at any time of the day, and she'll be on in the gym. She might be swimming on the beach, whatever. She's just ready to show up. Caroline, wonderful to see you, and congratulations. And Caroline did win also a beautiful award very recently, and her acceptance speech. Oh my God, Caroline!
And that's the thing for anyone out there, you know, for me, when you get awards, I had a room of 1,000 people. I went, yes, this isn't about me having an opportunity to share my message about women on a stage in front of 1,000 people. So yeah, that was amazing.
That was a beautiful moment. I was cheering you on virtually. Thanks, Caroline. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. I hope I haven't missed anyone out. We've got a few more bits to do. Thank you so much. Oh, and Rachel did remind me, for those of you aspiring speakers who perhaps feel like, oh, I'm not quite ready for this type of thing yet. I'm very excited because this has been a project in the works for a while. I aspired to start this 2 years ago. We nearly started last year, but things got in the way. And this year, we actually just opened our Speakers Academy. It is officially launching later on this month, and I'm very excited that for those women who perhaps feel like, oh, I'm so way off of being a speaker just yet, and I want to do the preparation, we have a 6 months beautiful group program for those who want to go on to learn some skills in speaking, in sharing your message and preparing yourself for speaking, branding yourself as a speaker, and going on to really practice your speaking skills. Speaking is really an art, I would say. It's an art of being able to share your message, inspire others, impact others. And I'm sure you've heard of diversity of the speakers on this event just alone, just different styles of speaking and inspiration, and how the speakers themselves light the fire for themselves and the audience. And it's such a beautiful thing to do. Like I said, I didn't always have this confidence or courage or even the voice to speak. And my goal with this program is to really help anyone who wants to go on the speaking journey, to help them find the confidence within themselves to use their voice. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. And I know that speaking is one of the biggest fears, I guess, for people in the world, right? How many of you feel like, oh, speaking is like, oh, I'd never do this. But what I thought was never possible for me, I would never do. Today, I get to immerse and enjoy wholeheartedly, and it becomes a beautiful skill that you practice. So I welcome you to find out more about it. Next week, we have Speakers Challenge, which means we go on a bit of a free academy inside of what the academy will be about. So I hope you get to join us, and we will make sure to send you information. So this was Tanel, who shared a little bit about her journey on the Women Thrive Summit. What a powerhouse woman. And like mentioned, do connect with her or watch her talk if you haven't already. Truly enjoyed her presence on our stage, and I hope to have her back, as so are many other you speakers. Day 4 of the Women Thrive Summit was around marketing and business success. So it was a little bit more practical. We talked about branding, social media, visibility, how to prioritize your time, also about business planning, how to build your money empire. We had our headline speakers, Leadership Babes, Laura, Matena from talking about social media confidence embodiment, Adam Christie talking about client experience, and Lenny on the art of retreat planning. So this was much more practical, insightful, business-focused day. which was super, super valuable. And I want to congratulate you ladies who have been a headline or a spotlight of that day for marketing and business. And just to thank you for all of your contributions and have some notable names to mention. So some of the ladies that stood out on this day, and congratulations to all of you who participated. And I hope as an attendee, you got a lot of value out of it. One of the first speakers was Mybrit. I am still practicing her surname. I had it for the summit. So Mybrit was talking about productivity. Oh, she was so much fun to listen to. And who remembers the story about giraffe and the turtle, and how the turtle only sees what it sees at the grass level, and it does not have the vision of the giraffe. And sometimes you have to be a little bit more like a giraffe and see the perspective of the world. So I thought that was such a beautiful little story that she shared, and it will continue to be shared throughout the day. And her delivery was just so much fun. So congratulations, Mybrit. What an amazing lady. I truly enjoyed having her on a summit, and her energy is just magical. I want to congratulate Tammy for her contribution and commitment, and a very practical, very insightful talk on business planning. It was really, really good. And I think everyone has got a lot of value out of it, and just how important is business planning and having a roadmap in your business. I thought that was really, really important. Tiffany Lewis shared some really good insights on marketing. And as a mom of two and someone who worked in a corporate and escaped to do more authentic marketing, we really enjoyed her talk on practical marketing strategies. Jessica Weaver, what a powerhouse woman. She's taken the world by storm with creating an all-women-led consultancy in financial management, and her talk was just inspirational, beautiful. She is multiple best-selling author, and we truly enjoyed having her on the summit. Really valuable and insightful talk, because I do believe that we as women should be financially empowered, and every year we try to talk about money and money empowerment. Also want to highlight Hannah. Hannah also was such an amazing lady on the summit, and she showed up to pretty much every meeting every morning on the summit, and she actually gave birth during this, well, not exactly during the week of the summit, but leading up to the summit, right? She was about a month and a half before the summit. So she was particularly going through a lot emotionally in her life and all sorts. But when she showed up for her talk, oh my goodness, did she show up with power, preparation, regardless what was going on in her life, and contributed significantly. I really enjoyed our social media live actually with Hannah and the things that she talked about. So some of these things you can find on our platforms and YouTube channel. But congratulations, Hannah. I really value your contribution, and all of you ladies for participating in this specific day. Do we have anyone from day 4? And if not, then I'm happy to move on to day 5. Tammy, we got Tammy. So bear with, I just put you on a spotlight. Tammy, congratulations.
Thank you. I just have to say that it was a phenomenal experience. You know, I'm coming from a background where I didn't, have support from other women. You know, I worked on the agency side, I worked corporate, I worked nonprofit for many years. And what I found was the women were very catty. They were threatened by one another. They were competitive with one another. And this is the first time that I really encountered a group of women who cheered every woman on. They genuinely wanted to see you succeed. And when any one of us fell behind, there was another woman there to help pick us up and support us. We all we're going through different things at different stages in the process. And, you know, myself, I had a mother who ended up quite ill. We almost lost her a couple times. And the support was phenomenal. I don't think you'd find another women's group that would even come close to this. And that's been my experience. I've learned so much from the other women, from the different personalities. I've had an opportunity to meet women around the globe, and each and every one of them brings something unique to the table. And I think a lot of that also goes back to you, Raimonda. Okay, we're done. It's at the end of the thing. It's at the end of the program. We're done. We all move on. So for me personally, it was a phenomenal experience. And I think that leads back to you. It leads back to your team and the amazing, innovative ideas that you bring every day. You're constantly switching it up. You're constantly giving women different ideas, different things to strive.
Oh, thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much for your beautiful, kind words, your impact and your contribution. I know at times it wasn't always easy to show up, but also for all of your patience in this process, because at times it wasn't always easy to navigate. And it wasn't always easy to take up all of our challenges and all of our ideas. You're like, Ray again. But
it was a wonderful experience. You know, I can't recommend it highly enough.
Thank you, Tammy. It was a pleasure to have you. And yeah, just thank you for your energy. I appreciate you. Amazing. I don't know if I can see anybody else from this particular day celebration. So we have one more day, and yes, I'm excited to share the final day winners of this award. So day 5 was very much around energy healing and personal growth. I'm excited to mention some of the notable names, some amazing women who we left for the last as well. We had some amazing speakers, some first-time speakers on day 5 who made a significant impact. Some beautiful, powerful talks. We had Mary, we had our headline speakers, LOA Twins, come back, who were first-time speakers a couple years before. Melanie, Lorna, Bejin, Wendy, Tammy, Kristen, Paige, Melissa, and of course we had the official closing ceremony, which was so much fun. And if you didn't get to catch it live, well, you missed out. So congratulations to all the winners and all the participants of day 5 and the whole summit. And without further ado, I just want to say well done to all the ladies, and I want to make sure we congratulate our winners, the final winners of the Women Thrive Summit. Well done. We are so proud of you. I want to mention some of these notable names for various reasons. Now, Mary, who is based in Australia, she was a first-time speaker. She was an author of the Women Thrive book. And she is such a beautiful, beautiful light. Many of you may have not been able to catch her talk live because she was early in the day, but her story, my goodness, was it beautiful. It's the first time she shared her story, first time she's spoken on stage. When she came in to the process of working with us beginning of September, she would always apologize for her presence. She would apologize for crying. She would apologize for asking questions. She would just apologize for her presence. And I challenged her from the very beginning. I said, Mary, stop apologizing. You do not need to apologize for your presence in this space. This is your space. This is you. Take up all your time. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to scream, scream. And by the end of the process, by the time the summit came, we didn't hear as many apologies for her presence anymore. So in her name, in her this accomplishment of transformation, we set up Mary's $5 sorry jar. So for any woman in our community moving forward, because we used to joke every time she would apologize, I'd be like, Mary, that's another $5 in the jar. So it was a joke, a running joke in our meetings, but actually we set up the sorry jar for future women who come into our space and apologize for their greatness, apologize for their presence, apologize for crying, because you don't need to be apologetic about yourself, who you are, about your presence. You just don't need to apologize unless you truly done something bad. But for your presence, never. So for those of you who will be in a future event, if you come on and you apologize, you'll be donating $5 to your chosen charity, okay? So it's actually a thing now. Thank you, Mary. She was so inspirational. If you haven't got to watch her talk, I highly recommend it. Next up, we had Bejen. Bejen, one of our youngest speakers who brought power and inspiration, and what an energy. We enjoy having Bejen. One of her videos, which we use actually for running ads of the summit with her power kick. Oh my God, it was so well received. She was just such an energy. And I wish I had a 10% of what she has. And she works with children. I believe that she will create a huge ripple effect. If you didn't catch her talk or podcast interview or other things, please do make sure you do that. Tammy was, what an amazing lady. What a powerhouse woman. Another sometimes could be a quiet voice on the platform, but so inspirational. Her story of losing her voice and regaining it back over the years, and her experience of trauma and overcoming that trauma was beautiful. Tammy was a first-time speaker, believe it or not, but her talk and her delivery was just so beautiful. So I want to congratulate Tammy, because I think that she's grown a lot through this process. She had a beautiful, special moment to share her story, which at other times she was not encouraged or purely shut down, and that's one of the causes of her trauma. And she was very brave to share it, to have shared her story on our stage. So I'm really grateful for what we get to do in terms of first-time speakers. So Lorna, what a powerhouse. For those of you smiling, seeing Lorna's picture here, oh my goodness, Lorna, she was so much fun to have on this summit. So much fun. She's just like a firecracker that she comes in, she's like, woo! But more than that, she delivered a beautiful, powerful talk on the summit. We had some amazing feedback for her talk. So as a speaker, she truly delivered an amazing experience for attendees and made a significant impact. But more on a personal note, I know Lorna has had quite a few challenges along the way. She had to move many times. She had some health challenges that she faced along the way that was completely out of her hands. And I remember we used to voice note a lot. And she's like, Raya, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I'm like, you can do it. You can do it. You know, just believe in yourself. You can do it. And I was very, very patient with her. And actually, I think she found her strength through this whole journey, to actually stand up strong, no matter. And she realized that it's like, wow, one thing after the other. If it's not that, then I have this hit me, then I have this to hit me. And then at the end, she was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop complaining and I'm just going to go for it. So that was Lorna, just a strong powerhouse woman. I'm really proud. If she was here, she'll be popping off right about now. She was the last person standing on the celebration of the Women Thrive closing party. So, oh my God, that was so much fun. Next up, I want to say special thanks to Paige. This was such a divine intervention by Google. Thanks, Google. She found us on Google and she's like, hey, I'm going to go and apply for this. I'm just pursuing some speaking engagements and I'm going all out. Hey. Oh, what a journey with Paige it was. Oh, the first time I met her, she just authentic. She just knew what she wanted. She knew what I was coming here for. And then she found this journey. And I think she was a little surprised about what we're doing here, really. And I challenged her and she took up my challenge. And I think she must have landed like 15 or 20 podcast interviews and she got onto a marathon of podcasts. She was like, I want to do this speaking like nobody's business. And she booked out weeks and weeks and weeks of podcasts. And then she was like, I'm exhausted from all of this. Like, never again, I want to see another podcast in my life. So she literally took it a whole way and took up all of our challenges, which in turn, I think she had a huge transformation because when I saw her on a showcase a couple months later, I think we were all so blown away. Before she got up onto the showcase, she was sharing in her private group, ladies, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm freaking out. And then she came on to the showcase and she just stole the light. She was more powerful than Marcus Black. And if you know Marcus Black, you know how bloody powerful he is. And this girl just came and delivered. And I was like, Paige, who was that? So I had to use her video in the future meetings to say, oh my God, look at this. Look at this. And I was like, this is TEDx worthy material. So what I want you to do is go and pursue TEDx now. So that was the experience of Paige. And oh my God, if you have not caught her final talk, you absolutely have to watch that. And for me, this was the biggest transformation on the summit this year, which I'm really, really proud because this just shows what happens when you make a commitment, when you show up, when you take up a challenge. Maybe go a little bit too far in taking up the challenge, but that is the level of commitment she took. And the evidence of it was incredible. So I'm really proud of that moment. Thank you for allowing us to experience what we experienced with you, Paige, and I will invite you in a moment. Last but not least, Melissa, who was our closing speaker. And I know it was not an easy thing for her to wait the whole week to present. And like many of you, she had different challenges along the way. She definitely almost freaked out about being visible, although being a visibility queen herself, she was like, oh my God, I'm having to face my own demons. But she held it together so gracefully. She showed up from her heart, shared it from her soul. And despite of going last after all of these amazing speakers, she still crushed it. So I just wanted to recognize her for her contribution and just say it wasn't easy, but actually I'm just so proud of Melissa and just want to recognize her in this process. So that is it. Next up, we will have Jan Dowdy, who will be sharing a few words as one of our closing talks today. She was one of our speakers at last summit. And she also has been one of the ladies who challenged me as a leader, as and just been such a beautiful voice on our stage. So we'll get to hear from Jan if she's still awake. I know it's very late, but we'll bring you on stage in a moment to do a closing. Paige, I want to bring you up and just congratulate you. Well done. What a journey.
Wow. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Rachel, you're amazing. I have to say, I've never been more exhausted. And for me, that is such a success because it is hard to thoroughly exhaust me. And it has been such a monumental experience of complete transformation and change. But this has been mystical more than anything else. And I'm very much an out of sight, out of mind person. So at the beginning, it was very easy to just be in community and, you know, I'll figure it out when we get there. A time. And here I am marketing with all these podcasts, as you mentioned, Ray, not knowing what I was marketing for because I had no idea what talk I was going to be presenting. And so I was chasing my tail a little bit. And this platform is just completely unmatched. And thank you for letting it be what it is, Raimonda. You're amazing.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Very, very sadly, my internet was completely dropping out and I'm sitting here freaking out and I can't hear anything. And I'm like, no, my internet is dying. So Paige, so sadly I didn't get to hear a word what you said. I hope somehow my recording has captured it, but I hope you ladies have enjoyed Paige's testimony, and I have no idea whether you can hear me right now.
And pop back in here shortly. There she is. Okay, awesome.
I'm so sorry, ladies. Bear with. Are we back?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Oh, Paige, I love you so much, so dearly. I'm so sad I didn't get to hear your testimony. I know the other ladies did, and it was a special moment to share with you on this whole journey. Grateful for your contribution. Grateful to have been able to work with you. I was so sad not to hear what you had to say. Oh my God.
It's all perfect, Ray. You and I are going to continue to spend so much time together where I can just continue to flood you with all the praise that you deserve. So all is well. All is well.
I love you lots. Congratulations. You're amazing. You're so inspirational. I'm glad hopefully everybody else got to hear what you had to say and you stood out in this process. I'm grateful for having you on this. Thank you. Appreciate it. My highlight moment of Paige's talk was her dad showing up and dancing along with us. That was pretty cool. It made me cry seeing Paige's dad. I was like, oh, how precious. That was so, so precious. Okay, last but not least, I know we're running a little bit over time, but thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for Jan sticking around. I had to have you listened through the whole of these awards ceremony today to really give a very good, insightful recap of today. I think that was the reason why I held you up for so long. But Jan, it's been amazing to have you such a cheerleader in our community and genuinely showing up to support others, share your insights, your knowledge, and as a communications specialist, just wanted to have a few words from you as a previous speaker of the Women Thrive Summit.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me, and it was an absolute pleasure hanging around. I mean, it's like coming home. I feel like I'm in my cozy little community again. So it's absolutely not a problem, not even counting the minutes. So first of all, hello, ladies. I'm Jan. I'm an expat, UK expat in Dubai. First of all, congratulations and welcome to your special day. This is your special moment. And moments like this don't come about very often. We know the big wide world out there is so full of bad guys, and we are with the good guys, definitely. And I think we just need to really hold space with each other and appreciate that, first of all. So I'd like to honor you all with your Women Thrive Summit achievements. And it really is an achievement. Don't belittle that in any way. For those of you who may not already know, I was a VIP speaker last year. And I shared my communications framework in saying what you mean, meaning what you say without being mean. And I think that ethos of being accurate, authentic, and amicable, power doesn't have to be about belittling other people. You can be powerful and kind at the same time. And that really is the central theme of what I do in my communications. And I believe all of you embody that. All of you are literally walking, talking, breathing versions of that philosophy that I have. I want to say, I may not have met all of you, I've met some of you, but I may not have met all of you, but I actually know each and every one of you. And that's not because I'm a master's degree journalist and I've done the paparazzi thing, gone through your garbage and done the whole digging in the dirt thing. That's not what I've done at all. But I'll tell you how I know you. We're going to do a little test, a little game, a little gamification now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about you all. And don't say anything, don't type anything. Just if it resonates, my appraisal of you, just put your hand on your heart, just as a moment of solidarity. Okay. So first of all, I can say that point number one, each and every one of you is a resilient woman rising to the skies of her potential where there's no limit. Okay, that's point number one. For the experienced speakers here, you have taken yourself out of your comfort zone and you've gone into a space but you were not sure because this is not your zone. Okay, for those first time speakers, you have won the greatest prize, regardless of whether you've been nominated or won. You've won the greatest prize already because you have practiced self-mastery over your fears. Okay, you've accomplished the thing which you thought was not possible. So that's point number one. Point number two, you are all heart-centered leaders and you are not here for the check that was written to you for a job done. Okay, this wasn't work. You were here because you chose to be here and you've trailblazed for the other people who need to be here too. You've given them permission. Don't underestimate the magnitude of that. Sometimes all it takes is for that little girl, that teenager, that emerging woman to see someone else doing the thing, and then they will step into doing the thing. So you have become that heart-centered leader. Number three, you signed up for a speaker project, little speaker slot in the schedule. And the thing is, you've all gotten much more than you bargained for. I can tell you that without even speaking to each and every one of you. So what you've actually done is received an unexpected gift in this process. And That gift is unboxing yourself. It's unwrapping the woman that you're supposed to be. You've given yourself the gift. And that is something that is so powerful. Positive transformation is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. Nobody can give that to you. You have to give it to yourself. So I want to say, I know you, and you have become that. Number 4, and it's the final point that I know about you, you have all won a brand new family. Okay. I got to do that. I got to do that because I know you're all fellow warrior women and you've all made connections for life. I've made connections for life. Women who hold me accountable, women who refuse to see me as mediocre, women who cheerlead me outside of the platform. And I think that's so important. You know, we might be here for a little blip in the whole chasm of time, but this goes on. This doesn't stop. Okay. And I know those ladies from way back last year, they're still my soldiers today. Like, we salute each other on the journey. So definitely you're all with us in this family of being the highest version of yourself. And I think that's why I can say I really know all of you. I think in conclusion, what I can say is that the Women's Thrive Summit, if you were to talk about it, it's not a public speaking engagement. That's the last thing that it is. It's a legacy that you leave. It's building bridges and connection. And it's about making memories for yourself. And I'm sure your family were all behind you and they're all involved in it. And as well, making memories for the generations to come, those people that are going to see those recordings. It's evergreen content. It doesn't just disappear. You're kind of imprinted in cyberspace and in the history of women's lives forever. But there's a problem. Don't want to go doom and gloom, but there is a problem that comes with this. And that is, Ray can't hold your hand forever, as much as we would like her in our back pocket. We'd like a little Ray in our little handbag everywhere. She can't do that. That's not her job. And I think if she was that, she wouldn't be doing her job properly. Caretakers, the motherhood part of us, the nurturing agent that we all have. It's about preparing your young brood, your team for the future. That's what good leadership does. That's what good motherhood does. I've got 5 kids, so kind of know a little bit about that. So what we need to do is we need to continue the build. We need to continue the journey. And the problem is there's more to do. Don't stop here. If I was to give you one message, don't stop here. You've got to water the seed that you found within you with wisdom. Learn, keep learning, go to other platforms, go to those other avenues of growth and keep learning. You've got to be feeding yourself with ambition continuously. No one's going to be in your ear all the time. You know, come on, let's go. You've got to be your own cheerleader sometimes. Some days you wake up and like, oh, it's me. It's just me. Okay, let's go. Let's go, Team Jan. Let's go. Everyone's sleeping. It's 3 a.m. You got this, Jan. You're going to finish that course today now. That literally is what it is like. So feed the fuel of your ambition. Every day you've got a chance to be better, be bigger. And I think the thing I want to really drive home is being the highest version of yourself is infinity work. Okay, it's not your 9 to 5 where you clock out and you go home and it's done. It's infinity work. This work never stops, like your fitness never stops. The goal is never achieved because it's not about the goal, the end. It's about the journey and showing up for that journey. And what the Women's Thrive platform is about is giving a platform for you to perhaps realize or understand how you fit in that journey and maybe articulate it or give some kind of meaning and real physical presence about what that is about. So, I mean, for me, let's just give you an example of me, post-Thrive conference, because Ray's been so good at mastering safe spaces, and I've been such a an observer of where safe spaces go wrong globally. I've traveled around the world, and there's so many fake safe spaces. We all know that. We can call those out. I've actually gone on to design a communications framework where women can articulate safe spaces, because I feel it's such an abused term, and nobody really defines what safe spaces is. And people lure people in, and you get them. It's like, no, that's not what it is. That's fake. I've designed a communications framework now through my coaching where you can actually define this, and it can't be messed around with. And fortunately, just this week, my Cambridge University tutor is flying in from the UK, and I've been asked to deliver this for the first time globally to a cohort in Cambridge University, Dubai. They've got their leadership platform here. So what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that because one thing, it's like a domino, one thing can trigger another thing and another thought, another idea. The celebration of achievement just goes on, and you have to facilitate that. So really what I want to say is, keep shining, ladies. Congratulations to all of your remarkable achievements, and you all deserve recognition. I see you, I hear you all, and you're all winners today. I mean, as a former live TV talk show host, I used to have a satellite channel slot in the UK. I can say that Women in Business has got talent, and you all get the golden buzzer. That's me. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, Jan. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for seeing so much in these women, and actually shining a spotlight back on them with what you see in them and the greatness. Thank you for making me a better leader in this process, and guiding me. And I think we can all learn something from each other. And I've learned so much from every single speaker on this platform. And it's been precious to have you, Jan, and also your feedback from your perspective, what safe space is, what a community is, what is an inclusive environment, and how we all show up, and almost keeping us accountable to it, which I really like. And I used to remember last year, you asked me something in one of the meetings, almost like calling me out, but in a way it's like, but how you making an impact? I don't know, it was something. And I was like, oh, I like that, Jan, that you kind of challenge me, because this allows me to be a better leader and reiterate the values, the message, the purpose, and create our boundaries, create our structure in a better way. That actually, if you don't have a structure in leadership, in environment, in a community, if you don't have a structure, if you don't have clear boundaries, if you don't have values, purpose, and a mission of where you get it, people are not safe. They are not safe. Because we need that for safety, to know that there is a leader, there is a structure, there is an environment, there are values, there are ethos, how we behave in this space, how we treat each other, how we support each other, how we call each other out when something isn't right. And being able to be grown up and savvy, emotionally savvy enough to accept some of these things, whether it's a criticism, whether it's a challenge, whether it's feedback, and see ourselves also in each other. Be kind, right? It's so important in today's world to be kind, to be present, to bring the best of what you can bring to the table. And I love how you said that, you all winners, you all got a family here. You also stepped into this space because of your own personal development, and you've taken on this challenge, because it all comes down to you and your own personal accountability. And I said, in this process, you are accountable for your own dreams, for your own showing up in this process. I can only go halfway. I can only bring you the best content, the best speakers. I can only spotlight you on our stage, but the other half, you have to do that, because there's some part of it I can walk. And I remember one of the last meetings before the summit this year, and I was like, okay, do we have it all together? Do we have it all together? And Mybert said to me, Ray, your chicken's going to be all right.
Actually, Ray, can I just respond? quickly to what you said, because it's interesting. I studied discourse analysis in my first degree in psychology, and in discourse analysis, you look at words and the impact of words and the meaning of words. And somehow I feel that even the Women's Thrive Summit that's not accidental. That has a real. We should take some time to consider that. Many of the stories, many of us have come out of survival mode to do this work. I know, I understand, I've heard the stories, I've been present. And I think that's the thing, that when you have a genuine safe space, you can actually move out of the zone of fight and flight, where you're very small and you keep still and you don't want the predator to get you. That's what that state is about. It's about being so scared that you don't want to be seen or heard because there's a danger, right? That is survival. And thrive, what does that word mean? It means to bloom, to blossom, to go beyond the limitations that you see for yourself, to really grow and bear fruits that you can give out, to nurture and let other things grow around you. And that really is the essence of femininity and womanhood as well. It's so apt, the name, I think. And I think, again, this was never about giving the perfect talk. It was never about being the next in the Oprah interview, okay? It was about showing up. I showed up to my talk. My little one was having a meltdown. I just come off the road. I was stuck in traffic, and I didn't have time to even get myself to. I was just sat in front of the camera. I was just glad to be. I'm here. Right, I'm delivering that. As soon as the camera was off, I had to get back. My other four were trying to keep Chernobyl from exploding out into the rest of the city. So, you know, that was it. That was my way of showing up, and I did it, and that's fine. And it wasn't about being perfect, just showing up, ladies. That's congratulations for showing up.
Now that you said it, I just remembered. I think you were just kind of running a little bit late to the green room, and I was like, oh my God, where's Jan? And Jan was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. But then you delivered it and you crushed it, and I was like, you know, things happen in the process. Thank you, Jan, for your contribution, for words of wisdom. It was beautiful. Thank you so much. Ladies, well, the last thing for us to do is really close out this evening, to say thank you so much for all of you, for your participation, your contribution, for your patience, for challenging me and making me a better leader in this process, for trusting me in this space and bringing what you bring to this table. I want to encourage you to continue to shine your light, to step into your greatness, into your purpose. Continue to take these ripples and create a bigger ripple effect into the world with your authentic voice, with your authentic stories. Each and every one of you have a story, and I know that for sure. And each and every one of you have been assigned your own mission in life and your own purpose. So I do hope that you take that mission as something really precious, because there are people assigned to you who need you showing up. And believe in yourself. And when you're not able to believe in yourself, borrow our belief in us, that you have greatness in you, that you have incredible power, and you don't have to be put under pressure in order to perform incredibly well. You can just do it every day, wake up and make that commitment to be a better version of what you were yesterday. Lead with gratitude and kindness as well in this world, because what you don't realize a lot of the times that people are going through a lot of things. They're going through a lot of pain and struggles. And when people are not being very nice to each other, it just means they are hurting themselves. So I hope that a lot of the messages that you received today has poured into your heart and to your soul. I hope that we get to do this again and continue to bring back our incredible speakers. Congratulations to the speakers who have been confirmed for next year, and we have a beautiful handful of them. They are so inspirational. It's going to be a slightly different, I guess, energy. Every year is a different and unique energy. One little insight I want to share with you, part of the project that we are planning on this year, and I would love to welcome our past speakers to do this with us, is to initiate Thrive Talks. Now, Thrive Talks is much like TEDx Talks, where I would love to invite our speakers to deliver 10 to 15 minutes inspirational talk of their stories, perhaps filmed in their own time. But we're looking to bring forward Thrive Talks as an opportunity for our audience to dip into this free content, to watch on our website, to get to know your inspirational stories. And again, when we speak of our stories and overcoming of adversities, it is inspiring to somebody else. So thank you for trusting me in this process and following my lead, sometimes following my crazy ideas. Yeah, and I want to say a beautiful thank you to Yulia also, who after the summit, and I know I left the best for the last, who after the summit has taken the time to write, which I've never ever received in my life, a 6-page testimonial, not only for the summit, but also for our speakers, and recap her own experience of the summit. Yulia, your testimonial has gone down the store and we shared in our private messages. We just published it on our website as a blog post. I'd love to invite you to share a few words so we get to actually hear from you. And how have you enjoyed this today's proceedings?
Hello everyone. Yes, so yeah, it's been so inspiring. So from what I heard so far, I can only tell that yeah, it feels like home. So that's why I'm always coming back, because this is the place where I feel like at home. And since I discovered this, for me it's like a continuous journey. So thank you so much. That's why I was so ignited and I was so inspired by all the stories I've heard, and all these beautiful and powerful women who have shared so gracefully their stories with us, for us, you know, to feel empowered, to feel courageous, to be brave enough to show up. And no matter what we're facing in our lives, just to be brave enough to take one step at a time and working towards our soul mission and, you know, finding our purpose. Because yeah, nothing is like, I think the universe has been like very, very generous. And since I found you and I found this community, I can say, as I said in my testimonial, that I really found, you know, my light, and I found the tribe, and I found the place and the space where I can feel safe and where I feel myself, and I don't have to show up as anyone else but me. And I've read the stories. I think every day I can say that I'm learning something new. I'm going through the journeys. I'm watching you ladies, and there are not enough hours in one day, you know, to get to know all the stories. But every day I'm dedicating. I put some time aside to learn and to grow. And as Jen said, and I could really relate, this is an infinity work, never stops. And through my roles, you know, because I've been a coach and a mentor for the past 8 years or even more, because I started, you know, as a chess teacher. I used to play chess when I was younger. And then when I stopped, I really started to invest in this, you know, helping and building communities and helping children to develop, you know, their skills through chess and to get to know another world and to interact with each other. And then through all my roles, since I started my career, I tried to be the light and the inspiration for somebody. And even though it was in a project management role, I am the leader without the title, you know, or maybe it's not, you don't see every day, or I haven't seen the impact maybe, or I didn't realize it because it was so natural to me. But when people are coming and say, okay, you know, I feel better today because you are kind and you show me the way and you help me, that really mattered to me. Then I realized that, yeah, it's so important to raise and to support this community. So I'm very thankful. Since I witnessed this event, I'm like, I can never be the same. Every day I'm a better version. And I realized, Paige said that we used to be involved in sports, so we had this competitive, area, but I don't have this anymore. And this, I think it's been so inspiring for me to see that this is a place where there is no room for competition, that women coming together and just, I don't know, releasing in the world and opening so beautifully their wounds to the world to see and to get inspired and to get the courage that we're not victims of the circumstances, that we can change our lives if we get the appropriate support, if we are in the right room, you're never gonna feel alone. And this is something that for me has changed since the event, because I did found the light, and I know that no matter how my life will reveal, or I'm on my self-discovery again, and I'm trying to, and try to discover myself every day. So I will get there. I know now better. So it's been very inspiring. I'm very grateful to you. I keep all your stories, close to my heart. And that's something that I felt after the event that I need to share with the world, because it was something from my soul, so I couldn't keep it for myself. I wanted to pay tribute, and it was just a small token of appreciation for all the greatness I've received. So I needed to be courageous and to step out of shadows and just let you know how important you all were for me. And as I said in my previous speech, so you have this tendency to put me on spot on the closing event. So this is the second time, Ray. It's been such an inspirational event to me, and I discovered a lot of people that I could resonate with, and it's been a transformation. And we found Jen. I found my new brand family. So thank you. That resonated with me too. So thank you so much. I'll be watching you, and who knows? I don't want to, I don't know, jinx it, but maybe 2025 would be my year, So maybe next year, I'm gonna be up for the challenge. Who knows?
Amazing. Well, that would be
thank you so much
amazing.
again.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Yulia. When I was reading your testimony, I was in tears. I was laughing and crying, and I was right next to my mom, and my mom was like, "Are you crying or are you laughing?" She's like, "I can't really understand what's going on right now." And I was like, "I don't know, I'm both."
That was from my heart, and now I know the name also. I know the date, but then I know that 30 years from now I can send to Celine. So thank you for sharing that. Now I can associate the name too. So maybe in the next book, because this was the testimonial, but Lorna has challenged me. So she poked the bear in the chat. So in my next book, then I will have the full chapter and all the names and the events and everything sorted.
Certainly, you've got a book in you. Thanks, Yulia.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So as Yulia, we did put her on the spot without expecting. Again, I just want to make sure we are closing this event. Thank you so much. We're going to be back every month for a showcase. Very soon we'll be announcing next year's summit speakers, which I'm very, very excited to introduce. Remember, this is a community, this is a mission that is ongoing mission. It isn't just about one event. I welcome your participation, feedback, community. We'll send you an email how to, if you're not part of our circle community, to join that and connect. Go on to celebrate your achievements. And I'm super grateful for having all of you in this event, in this space, and your contributions and your existence in this world. So thank you all. Thanks to my team as well for being behind the scenes to support us. Can't forget them. They've been amazing in helping us bring all of this together, especially as we are awaiting our newest team member. Is still kicking about inside of me. I certainly needed that help and support from all of you as well as my team. Thank you all, and we'll look forward to seeing you at our next event. Bye for now. Bye. Love you, ladies.